Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're gonna have ourselves a 2v2. That is right, a 2v2 on Corellia Summer, one of the new maps introduced in the recent patch. These are from the community and actually made from or by Monolithic Bacon. So we shall take a look at that map. But in the meantime, let's introduce our players. In the blue, playing as the OKW, we have Chimuelo. There you go. And then his ally in the yellow, playing as the Austere, is going to be SOE Lost Allen. Their opponent in the red is going to be Mr. Saucy Jack. I should probably pop these up so you can see the names, right? Yeah, there you go. It is Saucy Jack, playing as the US Forces in the red. And lastly, in the pink, we have Lord Iffy. Not too sure about him. He's kind of iffy, but he's in the pink, playing as the Soviets. And there you go. Let's go ahead and close this out because it makes it look a little bit ugly. Now, I suppose while the game gets underway and we see a little bit of the map, it's kind of interesting looking. Um, we see doctrines have been selected for two of the players. We have Mr. Chimuelo going for the Fortifications Doctrine, and then we also have Saucy Jack going for the Rifle Company, which is understandable considering that he is calling in those veteran riflemen, which are oh so popular and have the ability to get flamethrowers. Anyways, left-hand side, we have an engagement. Storm Pios against Combat Engineers. Storm Pios win and force the retreat. Center victory point, which is a little bit lopsided. Over to the right-hand side, we see rear echelon squad capturing it, and we have an MG42 for Lost Allen setting up to cover it, although it is in a weird angle, which doesn't allow it to actually shoot. It is obfuscated there by those trees, as you can see. It has no idea that anything was around there. So yeah, I mean, the map is kind of interesting. You have your victory points kind of spread out across the center, although this one is lopsided, but the sector itself, it's still the center. But the fighting will focus over on the right-hand side approach. You would expect it maybe somewhere like here, but this is just a path, so yeah, I mean, it's okay. Then you have munitions right at the very center. Rifle grenade flew. Oh, there we go. Yeah, rifle grenades from the rear echelon squad flying at the MG42, not hitting the mark, doing a little bit of splash damage, but they are quite safe in the cover of their. Oh, that's nice, right on top. Boom! That kills the gunner, but there's still 3 men left on that, and then another MG42 for Lost Allen for support. Grand Squad pops up and throws a Faust at the fighting position and allows it to get a lot of damage on it, but with no 50 cal machine gun upgraded just yet, the Grenadiers are easily able to get behind it and do quite a bit of damage. However, the rear echelon squad inside is still capable of fighting, still throwing some grenades off, and now turns its sights on the Grenadiers in the center, and a grenade will fly in their direction and provide some damage there. Down to 2 men on that Grand Squad. It looks like they actually lost their rifle grenade. But anyways, the Grenadier squad is down to 1 man and forced to retreat. Anyways, I was saying, yeah, we have your 2 munitions just flanking the center in a nice little hill-looking area. And then on the edges, you have those fields pretty much able to be secured by their sides very easily, but we see that conscripts are pushing heavily over to the left-hand side to try to recapture that fuel point as the Storm Pioneer squad went on a capturing spree all the way to the very edge of the map, but we do have a sniper on the field for Lord Iffy that will put a damper on their spirits there. Center map, we still hear those MG42s just flying endlessly at those rear echelon squads. However, we have double rear echelon squads on the field, throwing rifle grenades willy-nilly. However, we do have a Raketenwerfer, and I'll say it like that, Raketenwerfer, on the field that pops one of those fighting positions and brings the rear echelon squad on the left-hand side down to 1. Right-hand side, that fighting position still alive at about 30% strength. Another rear echelon squad moving up to replace the crew that has died in the other position. They get pinned down, but they are actually working on repairing, which is not exactly what they want to do. They probably want to pop in, but they're going to repair on their fire, and they'll be fine because even though they are pinned down, they're not getting directly fired upon by the MG42. They just got suppressed, so yeah, they're actually going to be just fine. Left-hand side, Kubel Wagon running into a Soviet scout car, the M3A1. M3A1 doing a lot of damage to that Kubel Wagon. Kubel Wagon forced to retreat. And we have a squad here in the center. Volksgrenadier Squad 4, Mr. Chimuelo, getting burned to a crisp there by the scout car. Not even trying to retreat, and they fall in battle. Build order wise, I don't know what it was anymore, but we do see that Mr. Chimuelo is going, or has already gone, for both his battle group headquarters and the mechanized regiment headquarters. And his allies side, he went for tier 1, and that is it so far. For the Soviets, we have tier 1 as well, and the US forces, obviously, we don't know what they have. No lieutenant on the field just yet, or captain, so no upgraded things just yet. He only has veteran riflemen on the field. And that is about it. 2 rear echelon squads that are currently throwing rifle grenades. Where's the other one? Back over here. Pioneers with their flamethrowers do manage to get themselves behind that fighting position, blow it up, and the rear echelon that pops out gets mortared to death, and down it goes. So Lost Allen setting up a nice position here with indirect fire and such to provide them a superior positioning. Kubel Wagon trying to get as much damage as it can on the Soviet scout car, manages to inflict enough damage to bring it down. Also getting suppression going on the conscript squad. The conscript squad not managing to push forward. Combat engineers with flamethrowers, they lose one of their men as they approach. Kubel Wagon getting a suppression off on the approaching combat engineers, backs off and manages to stay alive. Victory point has been captured by the Soviet forces on the left-hand side. Center point is being captured by the Germans, and the right-hand side is very easily controlled over here. We do have a fighting position on the right-hand side for Saucy Jack, but he has not upgraded any of his fighting positions with 50 cal machine guns just yet. So yeah, I mean, those are just basically bunkers for now. Oh, nasty mortar on top of the veteran rifle squad. They do apparently throw a smoke grenade, although it's one of those damaging smoke grenades, right? I think. I forget what they're called. But yeah, they're forced to retreat. And we see doctrine selection for Lord Iffy in the way of shock rifle frontline tactics. So I'm assuming he has a shock rifle squad? Yes. Excuse me. Shock rifle squad is coming out of the field. There you go. Storm Pilots on the left-hand side are engaging the conscripts. They do manage to win the engagement. However, they do have minesweepers, so always remember you do have the ability to toggle that away so that they can actually fight. However, there are a lot of mines in the zone, so that is why he is currently just, you know, sweeping. We also have a demolition charge over here, which unfortunately they cannot prevent the detonation of. They would have to destroy it from afar, but oh no, the Volksgren squad with the Shrek retreats would have been a nice thing to keep around so that they could shoot at a distance at that demolition charge. Oh no, all the troops are right next to it. Oh, jeez. Demolition charge goes off, does a lot of damage, and all the squads are forced to retreat. The Storm Pilots could have stayed there for a second or two, but with conscripts and shock troops running in their direction, it would have been a very, very bloody battle for them, and they would have they would have lost. Grenadier squad pushing across the river into the munitions point, getting some line of sight on that fighting position. Veteran Rifle Squad does push forward with the flamethrower burst and forces the Grand Squad to retreat. MG42 and Mortar pushing up to replace them. MG42 setting up a little bit further behind in the crater of a massive explosion. Gonna be able to provide a lot of damage there, but there goes another grenade. Yeah, I should probably... Well, actually, let me just quickly look at it. This is Saucy Jack, right? I want to know what it's called. Saucy Jack, it is the smoke screen grenade. Actually, no, it doesn't do any damage. No, so it's not any type of it's not any type of white phosphorus. It's just stuns vehicles if it hits it. But yeah, it's just a smoke grenade to break line of sight. So very nice usage there by Mr. Saucy Jack. Mortar did get cleared out, getting recovered there by the U.S. forces. Currently suppressed, needs to retreat, otherwise it's just going to be lost, and it is wasted infantry. But for now, he's holding strong in the engagement. MG34 on the other side of the embankment, just managing to get a lot of damage in there. Rakuten Warfare popping into the house. Going to be able to get some shots off through that shack. And the mortar did finally get retreated and is currently heading back to base. Captain on the field for Saucy Jack, which means he is currently building himself another tank, and that is going to be the Steward, I believe, right? Should be coming up in a second or two. The vehicle production time has been reduced for the U.S. forces, so it is no longer an eternity for those vehicles to come out, and you are no longer required to always have the captain around to speed up the production. Stewart, yeah, on the field for Saucy Jack. We do have Tier 3 now down for Mr. Lost Allen, and he's getting himself a Flak Panzer, which is great. And we also see that the Schwer Panzer headquarters is getting built for Shimuelo, covering his munitions point. But we also see that he has a Flak Panzer, or, well, not Panzer, Flak half-track on the field, which again got buffed in the recent patch. It is no longer needed to tear down. Does need to set up to be able to shoot, but it can just simply move out of the way without having to tear down. So it does increase its offensive capabilities, but it's not completely offensive. It is more to lock down territories, but quickly get out of there. So T-70 also on the field for Lord Iffy. Very nice. We see another Steward getting produced there for his ally, and there he goes. Quickly moves out of the way and retreats. Ooh. Nasty shot by the T-70. The Volksgren squad is down to one man, forced to retreat. The Flak half-track is backing off. The T-70 is in pursuit. Will get shot at there. Volksgrens are going to push forward with their Shrek. Flak half-track does need to set up again because it turned its sights. There it goes. Starts getting some shots off on that T-70. That flak gun will actually penetrate. That armor is very light, very soft. And there goes the shots, and boom! Down goes the T-70. Nice pickup there for Mr. Shimuelo. Flak half-track turns its sights on the conscripts as they approach, and they just get themselves battered and forced to retreat. Flak half-track unable to hit them because of that little hill, and only manages to do a little bit of a scrape on the side. Oh, the Schwer Panzer headquarters is getting some shots off on the conscripts as they retreat. The conscript squad will get shot up as well by the MG-34, and down goes the conscript squad. An unfortunate loss there for Mr. Iffy. It was an iffy situation. Demolition charge once again on the field there for Mr. Iffy. Panzer Grenadiers with, not Panzer Grenadiers, sorry, still confusing those. Storm Pioneers with their sweepers will be able to detect that. Oh, a nice grenade on top of the infantry. Oh, only actually kills one, but a lot of damage on the other troops, but forces a full retreat as the shock troop squad can easily deal with Storm Pios. Flak half-track going to move itself in that direction. We still have a point cut off here on the left-hand side that is not connecting any territory, even though it looks like it might. You see here that there is a embankment right there that is not connecting any territories. This little hill here, that's not currently connecting anything. You can see the 2 points. Flak half-track gets some shots off on the shock troops. The shock troops just get suppressed, but they continue to push forward. Flak half-track sets up once again a little bit further behind, and is going to shoot at the shock troops as they approach, doing a lot of damage, getting them suppressed. Doesn't really have much to worry about from the shock troops. Gets them pinned down and does a supreme amount of damage. Down to 2 men. Almost clears them out. We see a grenade just getting tossed. Does a little bit of damage, but the shock troop squad gets eliminated on the retreat. Second squad now pinned down to 4 men. Needs to retreat because it cannot hope to stand against the might of a Flak half-track. Stewart, no, T-34 getting brought up over to the left-hand side to deal with that Flak half-track. We do have Shreks on the field for those Volks Grenadiers. T-70 moving up. The Flak half-track GTFOing. It does take a shot and takes a little bit of damage, but it's fine. The T-70 is in hot pursuit. Volksgrens retreating. They do have the Shreks, which need to be kept alive, and they'll make it out of there just fine. More Volksgrens with Shreks on the field, so yeah, they're okay. Panzer IV moving around to the center for Lost Allen. Not too lost. They're actually just fine. And on the right-hand side, we still have those MG-42s. And Pio's just covering the zone. In fact, Lost Allen doesn't have too much in the way of infantry. He has lost most of his forces that were covering the zone. Is now reduced to a MG-42, 2 Pios, and a Garand. Garand squad is currently retreating, so there's a Pio with flamethrowers being his frontal infantry and the MG-42 behind for support. Very low amounts of infantry in both sides. So the Flak Panzer either died at some point and I didn't see, or was cancelled. And considering that I see a wreckage right here and little wiggly arms, look! Oh my God! Look at that guy! He's going crazy! Look at that! Ah, what are you doing? Stop him! Don't tickle him! Tickle! Tickle! Come on. Okay, he stopped. You can stop twitching now. Come on, he stopped tickling you. So, anyways, the Flak Panzer did die over on the left-hand side. I mean, right-hand side. Stuart moves up, decrews the MG42, and the engagement is over on the left-hand side as we see the wreckage of the Kubel wagon overseeing the fight as the Flak half-track opens up on the Shock Troop Squad. Shock Troop Squad also opening up on the Storm Piles. The Storm Piles doing as much as they can. They are equipped with a sweeper, so they are unable to do too much damage. That guy should just walk up and smack him with the sweeper. If this were Dawn of War, they would be using that as a melee weapon. And the Flak half-track is in a lot of trouble as the T-34 moves up, but we now have a Panther on the field for Chimuelo, which will deal with that T-34. T-34 does manage to get a lot of damage in on that Flak half-track. Can the Panther finish him off? Yes, he does. He takes a shot, down goes the main gun, and the T-34 is now done for. It can still move around, move out of the way. The Storm Pile squad did end up getting eliminated as there was a sniper on the field, and the sniper is now getting shot at by the Panther. The Panther will be able to finish them off if they don't retreat. They do retreat, they're still getting shot at. The Panther could potentially pursue and get the kill. Upgraded on the gunner on top is now pushing the wreckage of the T-34. Going to run into a Shock Troop squad, but it can potentially pick up the kill on the sniper. It's still in hot pursuit. Down to one man on that sniper squad. The gunner on top is a little bit focused on more infantry. Keeps getting some shots off. There goes the sniper, and that sniper is dead. Second T-34 on the field for Lord Iffy. The Panther is in a little bit of a tight spot. We do have Shermans on the field for Saucy Jack, plus the Stewart. The Sherman is no match here for the Panther. However, the T-34 will be able to get some shots off on the rear. Sherman does manage to get a nice shot off in the frontal armor, getting a penetration. Second shot by the T-34 hits the rear armor of the Panther, which is far less armored, and inflicts it a decent amount of damage. Dread Panzer headquarters taking some shots, helping out. We see a call in here by an incendiary barrage on top of that MG34. Not going to do too much there, but it will force the MG34 to either pack up or get killed. Raketenwerfer getting set up in front of the Dread Panzer headquarters to support more fire. The Sherman down to about half health, and the T-34 is at about 75. Panther moving back to the protection of the Mechanized Regiment headquarters. Excuse me. Could have been built a little bit further up, maybe to provide a little bit of a forward repair position, but I mean, it's fine. It's still automated repairs. You just need to make sure that you get your guys back into base. So the Flak half-track is back to full strength. This point in the center, still not getting captured by anybody. Still there. And on the right-hand side, we see the Pios going for the cap of some things. We have MG42s just laid out across the field. Could be picked up once again by Mr. Lost Allen. He is a little bit low on infantry. However, he does sacrifice an entire Pioneer squad to pick up the MG42. Does get itself flanked by a T-70 and assaulted in the front by a veteran rifle squad with a flamethrower, so they are forced to retreat. The Stewart, not T-70, the Stewart will probably hunt them down. No, manages to actually escape, so that's a very nice turn of events there. Panther now focusing fire on only vehicles. Far left-hand side, an incendiary barrage, or what is it? The yeah, it's like the white phosphorus. Oh my God, they're getting burned to a crisp. Dude, that. Okay, they all retreat down to very low amounts of health. We do have the battle group headquarters there for heals, but whoa, they almost died there. Panther over on the right-hand side easily takes out the Stewart without taking any scratch there. Should be able to run up to those rifles. MG42 in the center for Lost Allen being used to cap. Is the MG42 that got captured over here. Pioneer squad retreating as it did pick up the MG. The other MG has been reinforced, and we now have another Panzer IV on this field for Lost Allen. So Lost Allen keeps losing his Panzer IVs, and I keep not looking at it. Sherman Standard and Sherman EC8 now going up against a Panther. The Panther able to take them on very easily with its frontal armor and very good damage. Does take a penetration there from one of the Shermans. Takes another shot at the EC8. Doing some more damage, but the Panther backing off. Panzer IV moving into support. The Panther needs to push forward and not disengage. Nice pickup there by the Panzer IV. gets the kill on the EC8, and now gets the flank there on the other Sherman. However, it is being supported by two T-34s. The Panther is still far behind and not providing any support. The Panther can actually take a lot of punishment from the frontal armor. Doesn't need to be too worried about it. With the support of the Panzer IV, could have been able to provide a lot more damage there, but now it is in a lot of trouble. The Panzer IV is also in the way, stopping its movement. And the Panther will be going down. The Panzer IV moves out of the way. The T-34 start taking a lot of damage. The Panther managing to absorb a lot of damage as it takes Veteran C2 and gets its armored skirts. However, with one more volley, they will go down. There goes the Panther. The Panzer IV picks up the kill on another T-34 and actually currently is in a better position than the other T-34. Needs to pursue and get the kill. The T-34 is moving out of the way. The Panzer IV is a little bit caught here by the wreckage of its former allied and the enemy. He is now going on the pursuit. We have a high-speed chase here by low-speed vehicles. This guy could actually hit Blitzkrieg and chase it down, but he's not doing that. Gonna be running into the main forces here. We do still have a Sherman on the field there for the U.S. player. The Panzer IV is focusing right now on the infantry, which is the last thing it should be focusing on. Getting rifle grenades, and the Sherman is now just sitting there taking shots after shots without having to worry about it. The Flak Panzer over here did end up dying as well. The Panzer IV now finally notices, oh wait, that's a Sherman next to me, and takes a shot to the face and dies. And on the far right hand side, we have Panzer Grenadiers and Pioneers capturing the points. As the MG42s in the center, they clump up together and are just getting bombarded here. Another incendiary barrage forces a retreat. They barely make it out, but they did capture the point. Victory points, 266 for the Germans, 381 for the Allies. Storm Pio squad moves right on top of the rear echelon squad inside the fighting position. 50 cal machine gun also set up, going to be covering the zone. Oh, sorry about that. And it's a very easily defensible position. Could also pop those guys out and repair. We do have the ambulance did die, and we have the major that is still providing a reinforcement position. AT guns moving up. T-34s moving up to the left. Volkskrins with Shreks will be able to provide some damage, but won't be able to beat them. And the T-34 is actually trying to crush them, and it will force a retreat. There it goes. The other T-34 in the center getting repaired. Another Panther on the field for Chimuelo. Again, quite good. And the Flak Panzer still on the field now. Veteran C2 trying to provide some support damage there at range, but apparently just hitting the ground in front of it. Shots are flying through the ground, and the T-34 is in pursuit, trying to actually pick up the kill on the Flak half-track. The Flak half-track moving out of the way. Shrek's flying from the Volksgren. The T-34 now turning its sights on the Flak half-track. Panther chasing it down, going to be able to kill it very easily. Panther only took a minimal amount of damage, about 10% to that T-34. So T-34 now dead for the Soviets. Sherman medium tank on the right-hand side for Saucy Jack. The EC8 did get killed. AT gun sets up and takes a shot at the Panther. The Panther moves up behind it and gets a nice flank there. We'll get some shots off with its gun and MG on top. However, it is not designed against infantry, so it won't do too much damage. They actually don't lose a single member of their squad, so they're quite fine. AT gun in the center does get some shots off on that Panther. The Panther needs to stop focusing on those AT guns and maybe shoot at the fighting position instead, but it ends up dying, doesn't make it out of there, and down goes another Panther. Left-hand side, shock troops pushing forward, all three of them together. That is pretty much the only thing that Iffy has right now. Does have a T-34, but as far as infantry goes, he only has a combat engineer. And that is it. Combat engineer is currently back at base, so it's not even a part of the fighting force. Right-hand side, we see the Pios and a pack gun moving over to the right-hand side. Veteran rifle squad getting suppressed there by the MG42 and getting quite damaged there by the flamethrowers. The flamethrowers push forward. The incendiary barrage or white phosphorus rounds right on top of everything. They do a lot of damage. The pack gun needs to move the hell out of the way. MG42 will be getting cleared out, and the pack gun is also going to get cleared out as it decided to just sit in the intense part of the fire. Panzer Grenadiers also running through the fire, lose one of their men. They do have 2 Shreks, so they only have 1 rifle here for defense. But they do have a lot of combat capability against vehicles, I suppose. Shock troops on the left-hand side pushing forward. We still have a... No, we don't, actually. What happened to it? Where did it die? How did it die? When did it die? The flak half-track has been lost. It's dead right there, the T-34. Managing to put an end to it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 vehicles destroyed for that. So the shock troop squads are able to push forward very easily. We do have a bunker on the left-hand side, but it is not upgraded to an MG bunker, so it's unable to stop the approach. And, well, while Shreks are equipped and they do manage to inflict damage there to that T-34, there is no vehicles in play. Rakuten Warfare will be forced to be moved from the center map. We have another Rakuten Warfare on the field that could get picked up, but it will have to be moved over to the left-hand side to provide support. Shock Troop Squad, one of them ended up... No, actually, one of them only ended up with 4. I thought I missed one, but it's still there. The Panzer Grenadiers on the right-hand side are forced to retreat as the flames go through. I don't know what happened. But we do have a veteran rifle squad there around, so that's nice. Jackson Tank Destroyer now on the field for Saucy Jack. That will actually be quite effective. And he now has another ambulance on the field to be able to reinforce his troops. So the retreat point, not very far away. I mean, I don't see the benefit of this. I mean, you can see the base in the same screen. I mean, you would probably want to push up a little bit further up, maybe somewhere around here in a position, or cover the right-hand side fully, maybe. I don't know, but to each his own, I suppose. It's still a little bit of a benefit. Tiger on the field for Lost Allen goes over to the left-hand side to put an end to that insurrection, to that transgression from the Soviet forces. Goes up against the T-34, eliminates it very easily. The shock troops are still on the field. They force a retreat of the OKW forces, but the Tiger is still on the field, and it now will go up against the shock troops. The shock troops are also in range, or potentially in range, sorry about that. No, there you go. Are potentially in range of the Schwerpanzer headquarters, so they are in a bit of a tight spot. Rakuten Warfare does get picked up there by the shock troops, only to get themselves eliminated. The shock troop squad does retreat through the path of the Schwerpanzer headquarters, but does not take too much damage. Jackson Tank Destroyers now moving up against the Schwerpanzer headquarters, going to get shot at and deal a lot of damage. The Tiger and a Panther moving up to engage the Tank Destroyers. The Tank Destroyers will be losing this engagement, even with, well, it's only 1 Tank Destroyer. In fact, they have an EC-8 there for support and a standard Sherman. Oh, nasty combos there. Managed to inflict a lot of damage. We see an incendiary barrage right on top of the Schwerpanzer headquarters that will not really do a lot of damage. It is more designed against infantry rather than vehicles. The EC-8, no, that's the standard Sherman. Is trying to put up a fight against the Panther and the Tiger. Ends up getting itself killed. And we now see that the Allied forces are being held together by an IS-2. Tiger moving up to engage the IS-2. Will be able to get some shots off on the rear armor of that IS-2. However, it's getting shot at by the side from a AT gun. The Panther is a little bit further back. It does move up in range and manages to get a lot of damage in there on that IS-2. However, the Tiger is just getting bombarded there by armor-piercing rounds from the anti-tank gun and only manages to get itself killed. The Panther, not wanting to push up, will just hold the line and be the mainstay of the German forces, as they only have 1 tank on the field just yet. And against an IS-2, even at half health, with the support of an AT gun, it will die. So the IS-2 is currently in a great position. It backs off and it needs to get some repairs going. Second AT gun on the field further back with a cloaked AT gun for Lord Iffy nearby, so he moves himself into a very defensible position and is going to get repaired by both sides. Panther did move up a little bit, trying to potentially spot the IS-2 sneakily, but doesn't manage to do too much. Panzer Grenadiers. Sorry about that. Panzer Grenadiers on the right-hand side, going for the victory point. They do have Shreks, but Combined between each other, they actually have enough firepower as one Panzer Grenadier squad, which is actually quite a lot, so they're fine. Left-hand side, Volksgrens and Storm Pios moving together, recapturing territory, and victory points are 205 for the Germans, 276 for the Allies. So really still anybody's game at this point as far as victory points go. AT gun pushing forward, it will actually get itself in range of the Panther, although it now decides to back off. Rifle squads getting reinforced there with their ambulance there. Sorry. Just woke up actually. That brain still needs a little bit of oxygen to get going, and it makes me yawn a lot. Not that I'm bored here or anything. Another bunker on the field here by Chimuelo. White Phosphorus Barrage right on top of that. Panzer Grenadier squad down to very low amounts of health. They need to retreat and go heal them up. They will not be able to put up a fight against anything at all. So yeah, they need to retreat now. No, he's gonna go fight against rifle squads. No, he's dead. He's gonna lose both squads. There he goes. Loses a squad. Loses a Shrek. Loses a second squad, and a Shrek is there for the taking. A grenade actually gets tossed at the Shrek, but the Shrek cannot be destroyed. So a veteran rifle squad will be equipped with a Shrek now. IS-2 on the left-hand side, leading the push there. We still have the Panther in the center. The Panther could actually go put up a fight against that IS-2. It does have a lot of frontal armor, so it will be able to absorb a lot of damage and inflict a lot of damage with its main gun. So it shouldn't really be needing to sit here in the center. It could potentially push back over here, but it does need a little bit of support of infantry. So for now, the bunker holding the infantry pins down the shock troops, but they will be able to get themselves up shortly. Panther deciding to go engage over to the right-hand side, as we do have rifle squads nearby. They get themselves pinned down. It goes for the crush, but they do end up retreating, so they are uncrushable. Pioneer squad could actually go pick up that Shrek that they lost. And we do have pack guns and MG42s covering the approach over on the right-hand side. Shrek does end up getting picked up by the Pios, so we only have Pios on the field for Lost Allen as combat infantry now. Left-hand side, the shock troops are still capturing, supported by that IS-2, and the Panther is moving over to the left-hand side as the troops are going to be pushing forward. Shrek's equipped on Volksgrens, Raketen Warfare, and MG34 behind it for cover. So the Volksgrens will run into those shock troops. The shock troops will be taking some shots at range, but as long as they keep their distance, they should be fine. Panther back at base, getting repaired. Did take some damage there, so it is not in the best of shape. But we do have a Pack 43 on the field for Chimuelo. Doesn't have the range quite yet, I believe. Where's the edge of the range? Right there. There you go. So it doesn't have the range to fight it over at the left-hand side victory point, but does cover a lot of points in the map and is currently holding fire against vehicles only, or well, holding fire against infantry. Is going to be only shooting vehicles, you know, prioritizing. Another T-34 on the field for Lord Iffy. We'll have a nice support there for that IS-2. Right-hand side, rifles pushing forward. We have another Tiger on the field for Lost Allen. Rifle squads are in a lot of trouble, but there is nothing there supporting that Tiger, so it's also in a little bit of a precarious situation. There's nothing nearby for it to worry about, but it's not the easiest thing to deal with. So left-hand side, Volksgrens pushing forward. They end up getting its white phosphorus, or incendiary, no, white phosphorus. So they're forced to retreat. Over commandos, not over commandos, over Soldaten on the left-hand side. They get a little bit phosphorus and forced to retreat. Raketen Warfare is holding fire against prioritizing fire against vehicles only, and takes a shot at a T-34, then ends up retreating. MG-34 behind it, taking some shots, and the Panther is back to full strength. The T-34 needs to back off. It decides to push forward. The Panther is going to be pushing forward and getting a nice shot off there on that T-34. T-34 down to about half health. Needs to back off. It decides to back off, but turns its rear towards the enemy. That is not what it wants to do. Takes a shot to the rear armor. Down to about 25% strength. Can the Panther chase it down? It will chase it down. Takes a shot. Boom! Down goes the T-34. It explodes its rear armor. That was the biggest mistake it could have done, and there it goes. Another combat group here for Saucy Jack. It is essentially a Jackson tank destroyer, and the EC-8. His infantry company. I mean, obviously he built the Jackson tank destroyer, and then the EC-8 got called in. But they do actually end up taking down the Tiger, which is surprising. The EC-8 manages to stay alive, and well, now you know that these two tanks together can actually take on a Tiger head on and win. You just apply it directly to the forehead and it dies. Head on. Apply directly to the forehead. Oh, wow. A KV-8 on the field for Mr. Lord Ify. That is going to be very difficult to deal with. I mean, KV-8 and IS-2. Jesus. MG in the center. Forced to retreat to rear echelons and veteran rifle squads. Jackson tank destroyer pushes through the center. The Schwerpanzer headquarters is actually still alive. Pak-43 gun turning its sights around to shoot at the Jackson tank destroyer. Gets it right in his sights, takes a shot. Jackson tank destroyer down to a small amount of health. Won't be able to make it out of there. Down it goes. And it was a suicidal tank. I suppose they weren't aware of the Pak-43, but now they know, and the Pak-43 will be covering the entire zone. It has enough range to reach the edge of the embankment here, so it's not going to reach across, but anything trying to push forward will be in its range. Panther spotting the KV-8, takes a shot to the rear, to the side armor of it, doing a lot of damage. That KV-8 is at about 75%. Second shot flies, doing a lot of damage there. The Panther could chase it down and take it out, but it will not. There is an IS-2 to deal with there, and the Panther decides to actually go for it. He's going to go for the hunt of the KV-8. No. Pushes forward, doesn't spot it, and gets itself behind that IS-2. The IS-2 is in pursuit. They're playing a ring around the hedge, but it only exposes itself to the Rakuten Warfare as it takes a shot to the rear armor. Second shot flies. The IS-2 in a lot of trouble. The Panther also in a lot of trouble, but it's facing its forward armor. And down goes the IS-2. The KV-8 is still on the way. The Panther will be focusing on that KV-8. The KV-8 will be going down as it also moves itself into the arc of fire of that Rakuten Warfare. We have a second tank, a King Tiger on the field for Chimuelo, and down goes the Rakuten Warfare. He actually has the potential to pick up a IS-2. Is he going to go for it? Well, we see a barrage getting called in right on top of that IS-2. Incendiary barrage on top of the infantry. They just need to go for it. Go, go, capture the IS-2, and they capture the IS-2. IS-2 just needs to move itself all the way back, and a nice turn of events here for Chimuelo. He is going to be in a supremely powerful position. He is already over cap. He's not going to be able to reinforce his infantry, but he's at 104 out of 100 because he currently controls a King Tiger and an IS-2 for his army. Right hand side, we do see a big force of tanks for Mr. Saucy Jack. Jack. He has an EZ-8. He has a second EZ-8. And he has, well, actually, that's not a tank. That's just a ambulance. But, well, he has two EZ-8s. Oh, no. One EZ-8 ends up losing its main gun. But the pack gun does get cleared out. 75 points are left, however, for the German forces that need to put a stop to those victory points. We do have rifle squads in the center. Pioneer squads and MG-34 on the right-hand side. We do still have a mortar half-track on the field for Lost Allen. The EC-8 turns its sights on it and destroys it as it can. Pack gun getting picked up once again by those Pios. Going to try and turn itself around. The EC-8 decides to just move next to it and eliminate it, and down goes the pack gun. It could also just focus fire on the weapon itself and destroy it. And let the rifle squads deal with the MG-42. EC-8 did make it all the way back to base, even with a destroyed weapon. King Tiger pushes up, doing a lot of damage to those rifles. The AT gun's taking some shots at a distance. That is a veteran C3 AT gun, capable of doing a lot of damage. It has the take aim ability. It has increased mobility and accuracy, and then it has rate of fire and more penetrating hits. Although, I'm not sure if that increases penetration, but it says increases the rate of fire, which results in more penetrating hits. So I mean, I suppose that does have a logical sense to it. If you shoot more often, it means you're going to penetrate more often. But it may also mean that it has more rate of fire and penetration. Obersoldaten trying to stop the approaching shock troops get naded in the face. They lose 3 of their members to 1 nade, down to 1 man, forced to retreat. Can they make it out? A lot of damage there by the shock troops with their SMGs, but they managed to not get the kill. EC8 over on the far right hand side, just holding the position around. Needs to focus fire on that pack gun if it's just going to be sitting around here and destroy it, as well as the MG42, so that his enemy cannot pick them up, and that would be a lost Allen. But now we see an IS-2 fully repaired for Chimuelo on the hunt for an EC8. We also have the King Tiger sitting in the river, in the embankment here by... well, actually took out the AT gun. Wow. And the King Tiger pushes forward. Rifle squad going to be going to pick up the AT gun once again, only to get itself killed, really. Shot from the King Tiger, eliminating a lot of the squad there. The AT gun opens up with armor-piercing rounds. Gets itself killed, however, and the IS-2 is in pursuit. Vehicle crew popping out of the EC8 on the right-hand side as they were apparently trying to do repairs. The IS-2 just manhandling them, and it will die before it retreats. It has a lot to deal with. Machine guns on top. It is a very healthy one man. Maybe it'll make it out. Shot flies. Whoa, it makes it out. Wow. That's a very lucky crew. IS-2 going over to the right-hand side has taken quite a bit of damage to King Tiger. Still the King. Still on the field. 59 points for the German forces. IS-2 going to be running into another IS-2 and a recovered pack gun. IS-2 on IS-2. Who's going to win? Well, I think the IS-2 is going to win. Shrek's also flying from the Panzer Grenadiers, and they actually eliminate the IS-2 as the IS-2 took a little bit of damage here, down to 75% strength. Pack gun gets picked up. Like I said, it should have been killed by the EC8. And on the far left-hand side, we have EC8s moving in together with the support of shock troops to go capture the victory point on the left-hand side. Panther trying to stop them as they approach. Will be able to tank a little bit of damage, but will be forced to back off. EC8's able to provide a lot of damage in there. Shots fly from the Panther, 1 EC8 down to about half strength. Volkswagen squad with Shreks moving in that direction. Shot flies from the Panther, managing to hit that on the rear. And the King Tiger in the center, just sitting very pretty. AT gun at range, getting some penetrating shots on the side of the King Tiger. And the Panther is forced to back off as the EC8 pushes forward. 1 EC8 out of control, gets eliminated. Second EC8 moves up, takes a shot at the Panther. No, does not manage to take a shot at the Panther. Going to be shooting at the infantry, and we see incendiary barrage right on top of, well, fire phosphor barrage on top of the Volkswagen squad forces to retreat. But we do have medics on the field. Panther getting repaired. King Tiger at about half strength, moving in that direction to provide some support. EC8 forced to back off, but we do have 59 points left for the German forces. They need to put a stop to the capturing of points by the Allies. Right-hand side, the IS-2 just holding the zone as Volkskrans move up. They are able to pick up another Shrek, which is very nice. So Volkskrans with Shreks, I mean, not Volkskrans, actually, yeah. Grenadiers, sorry, not Volkskrans. Grenadiers with Shreks are actually quite nice. Sorry about that. Storm Pilots in the center, laying down some mines. Shoe mines. AT guns taking some shot at them. Shockers moving in that direction. That Storm Pilot squad is dead. There's no way that squad's going to make it alive. It's going to get cut off here by a shock troop squad. It does go for the AT gun and may be able to decrew it. But considering that no player right now is destroying weapon teams, or the weapons themselves, it's not going to have too much of an effect. Storm Pilots retreat. They run the gauntlet through the shock troop squad. The shock troop squad's getting a lot of damage in there at close range. Down to 2 men. Wow, they make it out alive. Very lucky. Very lucky. Right-hand side, an incendiary barrage did go off. The Grenadier squad was forced to retreat with its Shrek, but they did manage to capture the point, and the IS-2 is holding the position. Pioneer squad could be requisitioned and sent in that direction so it could provide repairs to the IS-2, while the IS-2 holds the line. T-34 getting called in for Lord Iffy. They do still have the cap of the left-hand side point, and they're going for the cap of the center point, so the Germans kind of losing grip here. They need to lock down those victory points. Mortar on the field, taking some shots at those shock troops. The shock troops will be able to capture the point, but they'll take some damage in the process. A nicely placed shot right on top of it would actually... Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. That was a nice shot there, a lot of damage. Too bad he already had 20 command points, otherwise you would have seen a lot of experience flashes. So the IS-2 trying to hold the right-hand side victory point. Will be able to hold it against the rifle squad. Rifle squad just getting battered there. Does take a shot there at the IS-2, I believe, with a anti-tank rifle, I believe. But down to one man, forced to retreat. Can he make it out? Yes, it does. Barely makes it out. EC-8 moving in that direction. We have an MG42 moving in this direction as well to provide support. EC-8 doing quite a bit of damage, but the IS-2 returning the favor as the IS-2... Well, it's a heavy goddamn tank. It's going to do a lot of damage. Taking a lot of damage as well, but the Sherman is down to about half health, so it decides to back off. He says, you know what? We're cool. We'll just hold off. Tiger getting called onto the field for Lost Allen. Finally getting some vehicles into play. Obviously, he does have that mortar half-track again, but, you know, something more impressive. Victory points down to 56. MG42 going for the cap of the center point with Schrecht Grenz. The left-hand side is getting captured again by the bulk train of Chimuelo, as his King Tiger is also getting repaired by the Storm Pios and covering the zone. Panther being a little bit of a scout, pushing forward. We do have a T-34 on the field, and we have another T-34 getting called in. Volkskrantz squad pushes up. We see a... what is that? Cluster bomb? Yeah, cluster bomb right on top of the Major. Major manages to dodge that, but the ambulance is gone. And the Panther is pushing forward in the midst of all the shock troops, getting itself into range of that AT gun. The AT gun is focusing on the King Tiger. Then takes a shot and decides to back off. The King Tiger's still there. T-34 is pushing forward. The King Tiger just very easily sitting there and doing a lot of damage to everything. The shock troops are forced to retreat. T-34 now going to be taking the brunt of the damage here by the King Tiger and the Panther. King Tiger does get more shots off on that veteran rifle squad. Veteran rifle squad is just sitting there. Needs to retreat. Down to one man. Gets eliminated. There goes. Grenadier squad pushes up to capture the munitions point. Right hand side, MG42 covering the approach against infantry as a Tiger and an IS-2 hold the line. We do have the EC-8 poking and prodding on the right hand side, but if we get ourselves a Pioneer squad that Lost Allen could simply produce, get it over to the right hand side, can very easily repair those tanks and keep them on the field and not lose the victory points. Left hand side, the tanks are still there. We have Volkskrantz building a MG bunker. And we have Storm Pios nowhere to be seen. The Storm Pios are back at base and need to get reinforced, but they don't have enough space to get reinforced. And, yeah. Pack 43 in the center. The Schuad Panzer headquarters also in the center, just sitting pretty. Squad getting eliminated over on the left-hand side by the MG42. And massive line of AT guns and T-34s just putting up a big front here against the Panther and the Volkskrantz. The Volkskrantz do manage to inflict a lot of damage there on that T-34 line, removing one of them, and the Panther is still on the field. Storm Pio squad moving up by itself. Not the best thing it could do, but there he goes. Up in the base, we see a push here by the Tiger and the IS-2 all together going into the base of the U.S. forces. Getting shot at there severely by that EC-8. The IS-2 GTFOing. The Tiger getting in its way. We see a cluster bomb getting called in on something else. Looks like it was an AT gun. AT gun down to about half health and only 2 members left. Base sector getting bombarded here by the Tiger, or not bombarded, but assaulted by the Tiger. The Tiger just sitting there very easily. Could open up the base sector and remove those MGs, or not MGs, those bunkers. Smoke getting popped by the Tiger. The Tiger moves out of the way. The AT gun should be able to get a shot off at the edge. No, it actually repositions itself and doesn't get a shot. And on the left-hand side, those guys are still alive. Storm Pios still back at base, getting reinforced finally now. And the IS-2 on the right-hand side will help out against the Jackson Tank Destroyer. Shots fly, but it will get itself eliminated. This will open all the population cap for Mr. Chimuelo. Chimuelo decides, you know what, I'm going to run away. Maybe I'll make it out alive. The Jackson Tank Destroyer has not taken a shot just yet. We do have a Shrek lying there on the field. A Panther there for distraction because it's a carcass, not a vehicle. But the Jackson Tank Destroyer spots the IS-2, gets shot in the front, and does not manage to get the penetration on the heavy armor of the IS-2, and is forced to back off. Pack gun pushing up. MG42 still holding the line over here. The pack gun will... Well, never mind. It won't do anything because victory points get bled down to 0, and that is game. Wow, I did not notice that it was a triple cap. That's my bad. So that is game, and there you go. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.